job. I've never worked a day in my life. It's absolutely my passion. I love getting up every day. Sport, it's so different. You never know what you're going to get. And I think the thing that's incredible about sport is, number one, the people that you do it with. And that's why I love rugby, because firstly, it's a game for all shapes and sizes. Anybody in the whole world can play it, but it's a game of respect. It's a game of honor. It's a game of, we call it one of the last gladiator sports remaining. But afterwards, you shake somebody's hands and you have a beer with them, which has always been an interesting dynamic for me. And then the next bit is, your highs are high, but your lows are low. And, I haven't done a lot of other things in my life bar sport, but from what I gathered is, a lot of people go to work, get there at 9, leave at 5, mostly moan that they don't really enjoy what they're doing, but they keep doing it until they retire, and then that's life. For me, I've taken on 2 sayings in my life. Number 1, enjoy every day of your life, because it's later than you think. Because the only thing we have is today. So why would I be doing something that I don't love and I don't have a passion for? And number 2, the best is yet to come. And now I've made a very simple sum. I'm a man for numbers. At the start of my professional coaching career, I took losses very personally. I still do, but that influenced a lot of things around my week. And then I figured out, well, if you're going to be a head coach for 12 years, and you're going to play, let's call it a very simple number of 30 games a year, you're going to coach 360 games. If you play or coach in a very good team and you win 60% of your games, you're always going to be in the top half of a table, around about a semi-final. But that means that you're going to win 220 weekends and you're going to lose 140 weekends. So I can't be unhappy for 140 and happy for 220. So I've tried to develop to take a lot more in my stride. Some you win, some you lose. You're never as good as they say, and you're certainly never as bad as they say. So it comes down to, number 1, a passion, and number 2, the people that you do it with and the people that you meet along the way.
Do you see, having the experiences you've had working in professional sport for such a long time, how do you see the future of sport, both commercially or just the actual future of sport?
Yeah, I think that's a big question, because I could talk all day about all the different areas and elements and the future and the challenges and, or what we're trying to do even from a rugby perspective. But I think if you focus on one area, which is a big area of the future of sport, is the women's game. I'm not using this platform to push that message, but it really, really is a massive part of the future. And because an awful lot of our sports are dominated by the men and the male, and that's fine. But we've got this whole other world that is going to grow with time, and it's going to become just as exciting in its own right and for different reasons. And I think the opportunities that will come with all of that are just really, really, really exciting. For us, kind of sitting on this side of the fence, for the fans, for the players themselves, and also commercially for the sponsors and the brands that can get involved going forward. So yeah, for me, it's the women's game, and it's all elements of the women's game. And, once we that momentum starts, I think there'll be opportunities also to enhance the men's game. And that's for me, that's really important as well, to make the whole product, whatever sport it is, whoever's playing it, make it bigger, make it better. And I think we can learn a little bit from the women's game. I think the women's game has to be quite brave and not worry about, what if we make this mistake? What if this doesn't work? Because the men's game never worried about that when they made decisions and they made mistakes. We got around them. We made them different. We made different decisions. We sorted out the mistakes. So I think the only real barrier to the women's game is the women's game itself. And if we can just kind of get over that, I do think that's what's really exciting in the next, say, 5 to 10 years. I really do.
One thing I do know, and something I feel very strongly about, is anyone who has played professional sport, particularly team professional sport, has all the soft skills that anybody in the real world could ever wish to have. In whatever industry it is. they cry out for people who've got good communication skills, who've got teamwork, who've got good discipline, motivation, you know, leadership, who are trustworthy, who are honest. You don't survive in professional sport without all those things are a given, and they're like hen's teeth in the non-professional sporting world. So anyone who I do see who's playing professional sport and coming to the end of their career, it's like you're gonna do great. Yeah, it can be a really challenging transition into whatever you decide to do next, but you have all the soft skills. You learn the technical pieces. You know, you could go to college and do 4 years of engineering and start a job, and everything you did in the last 4 years is totally irrelevant because there's different systems and different ways of doing it. So I am a big believer in that, because even look, intercounty football, hurling, same thing. You know, you don't survive if you aren't an excellent team player, you don't have good discipline, you aren't motivated, you aren't really driven, you know, communication. It's just, they're given as a professional sports person. That's not in the non-sporting world.
No, that's the difference in France, is that as head coach, you are effectively the ambassador for, or the face of the rugby. So you have a huge role. I probably did more corporate partner events than I did coaching. Like that's like you are out there. So we had 146 different sponsors, and they're tiered, right? So you've got Sogeti, which is your main one. I can't remember how we classified it, but like effectively we would have had 5 like big sponsors, and then we broke it down. But like down as far as the local boulangerie could have a high table in effectively a marquee which holds 2,000 people every home game, and he had four invitees. Okay, so that would be free bar. I mean, when I had free bar and finger food, like lovely food, but the idea was that it's not formal. And actually, to be honest, the Sogeti will be in the same room. I mean, they had a corporate box afterwards, but it's effectively 2,200, I think it was, partners or sponsors and their invitees being in a room together, pre-match, some of them halftime, and then afterwards. And the players would come in, the coaches would come in, the coach would speak beforehand. Like you do your pre-match speech to the players, and you go straight across, and you basically give the room an insight into how the game was going to go. And when we got good at it, we actually showed some footage as well, you know, pre-match. So, but the idea is to make them feel part of the journey, and to do that, they need access, and they want to press the flesh. And it was just part of, like, you couldn't put your hand. This is how it's done. This is how it's done, whether you like it or not. That's your role. So, and like as I said, it's from the smallest guy who may or lady who's maybe paying 1,500 quid a year for that access, but for them that's like spending $1 million.
The whole marketing budget.
It's them, and we need them. We need everybody. We needed everybody.